The budget smartphone market is becoming very interesting this year as we've seen a couple of fresh launches from brands looking to entice with incredible features on a budget. The Infinix Note 30, being the younger sibling in the Note 30 series, is such a device with a 6.6 inches Full HD Plus AMOLED display, a 64 megapixel main camera, a MediaTek Helio G85 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, 15-watt wireless charging, and stereo speakers tuned by JBL, all for the price of 147,000 naira. While the spec sheet of this particular Note 30 device looks promising, the question remains, how does it perform in day-to-day use? Well, as usual, here are my 2 cents opinion of the Infinix Note 30. What's an Infinix device without talking about its accessories? The Note 30 is no exception to Infinix's history of being very generous when it comes to what you'll be getting out of the box. It includes a TPU case with that JBL branding, a set of wired headphones, a 33-watt fast charger with a USB Type-A to Type-C cable, the regular SIM tray ejector tool, screen protector, and of course the 15-watt wireless fast charging pad, and this good-looking well-built protective case for that wireless charging. Moving on to the device itself, at first glance, the variable gold color option of the Note 30 felt somewhat similar to the 020, which I reviewed earlier. I'll generally describe the design as a modernist traditional style, although its flat edges have an iPhone-like vibe, which of course isn't a carbon copy of sort. The rear is made of a polycarbonate matte finish, ensuring no fingerprint marks or smudges stick to it. There is no camera island as such, but it seems the design team decided to still include an accented area that catches all of the surrounding light and sends off these colorful reflections just as seen from the entire rear panel. Such a beautiful stuff. Though some might find it a bit tacky as it's super glossy and it's a fingerprint magnet. The plastic frame on the other hand is a different story entirely. They mess with it a little bit by making it extremely glossy to give off that metallic finish. Quite convincing to the credit, giving it a premium look, but that does a pretty good job at constantly attracting fingerprint marks and smudges, which will have you cleaning all the time if you prefer using the device without a case. In overall, this is a sleek, sturdy, good looking device with a distinctive appearance that will have you not want to use a case on it, plus it feels grippy as well. Underneath the device is a USB Type-C port, a microphone, a 3.5 headphone jack, and the primary stereo speaker grille. Still on the frame you have the typical volume rockers and a tactile power button, doubling as a fingerprint scanner, which is reliable and pretty fast all the time. On the left side is a SIM tray for 2 nano SIMs with support for an SD card that if the onboard 256 gigs of internal storage is not enough. On the top of the device is the sound by JBL branding and a cutout for the second speaker, which I find to be placed at the wrong side as I occasionally find my palms covering the speaker during gaming. Perhaps it could have been placed where the JBL branding is and vice versa. For entertainment, the Note 30 got a 6.6 inches Full HD Plus AMOLED display with a 60Hz refresh rate. Infinix must have got some corners here by giving this device that 60Hz instead of at least 90Hz refresh rate to make it affordable considering other useful specs of the device. Using this device to watch videos on YouTube, movies, and streaming content on platforms like Netflix in HD settings was a pleasant experience. Outdoor usability was also pleasant as the brightness of the display was impressive, ensuring a clear visibility even in direct sunlight. It's also worth mentioning that the stereo speakers tuned by JBL makes it no trouble hearing dialogue, songs, or background music whenever you use the device to consume media content. Like seriously guys, the speakers on this device are really impressive. Moving on to the performance, the Helio G85 processor in here, though it's a downgrade, it's still a capable processor I think casual gamers will appreciate for the price. Paired with that 8GB of RAM, day-to-day usage was a breeze, especially during multitasking, opening apps, and long hours of playing one of my favorite games. To be honest, I have nothing to complain about the performance, it's just good at this segment. The battery life on the other hand held up for up to a day and a half as expected from that 5000 mAh capacity. Coupled with the 33-watt fast charging, what could go wrong having a full charge within an hour? Plus, you also get that 15-watt wireless charging pad by just dropping the phone on it to charge. Pretty cool stuff for a budget device, which is part of its major selling point. Do have in mind to get this working, the device have to be on the wireless charging case, which makes it different from how it works on the Note 30 VIP. It's not a bad idea as you'd be having these on the device all the time for protection and that charging. In regards to software, the device comes with Android 13 out of the box. However, no news as to whether there will be a future software update for the device. For overall usability, you should be expecting the usual bugging notifications, pre-installed apps aka bloatwares, and that typical feeling of using an Infinix XOS skin, which is my least preferred Android overlay. Last but not least, the cameras. The Infinix Note 30 appears to have a triple camera system, at least that's what you think looking at the rear. But taking a closer look, it typically has a single working 64 megapixel main camera. And what Infinix call QVGA that adds nothing to taking good photos on this device. The other is for aesthetic. For selfies, it got a 16 megapixel, and here it's that ugly notch design in 2023. The less said about that one, the better. Here are some pictures I took using the 64 megapixel mode. You can tell me what you think about them from the comment section below. Alright guys, so this is basically what you'll be getting from the 64 megapixel rear camera of this device, shooting at 2K 30 frames per second. You can also shoot 1080p 30 frames and also 720 30 frames. Unfortunately, you don't have any image stabilization on this device, hence the shaky footage you're seeing. So if you're planning to use this device for outdoor videography, I'll suggest you get a gimbal, but if you have a steady hand, that will suffice as well. So what do you think about the video quality of the Infinix Note 30, as well as the mic quality picking up the sound for this video test? Let me know from the comment section below. Honestly guys, when it comes to value for money on a budget, I think the Infinix Note 30 is a great phone for anyone looking for an affordable, good enough device with extras. For the price, you are getting an AMOLED display, decent speakers, 15-watt wireless charging, capable main camera, good performance, and other useful features which I think Infinix will sell more units of this particular Note 30 than what